guys, it's Robin. It's RsIslandCrafts. It's Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, July 17th, 2018. I want to thank everyone for all the well wishes about my poor little toe from last week. It is slowly healing. They said it's going to take about 4 to 6 weeks, so it's getting better. It's not bothering me as much, but I just have to be careful on what I do. It'll be fine. I did have a finish in the knitting category that I wanted to show you before we do some close-ups. This is about half the size that it was supposed to be. It should have been much longer. I'd run out of yarn and I was just going to make it to whatever length it turned out to be. So this shawl has a little bit of stretch to it, as you can see. Now I don't normally wear, I like to wear my shawls, you know what, granny style, wrapped around like this. But this shawl, you can wear it like bandana style, I guess they wear it. You kind of wrap it around and tuck the ends under, and you zhoosh this up a bunch. I guess this is some type of a fashion statement style or whatever, I don't know. Some people like to wear it underneath their coats, and this keeps them nice and cozy when the wind's blowing. The wind doesn't blow like that here in Florida, so this isn't anything I need, but I do love to make shawls, so I just like to make them and then either sell them or give them away. I really did like this yarn. It's a pretty gray, and it's nice and soft, and it's really, really hot. So why don't you come closer, and I'll give you a nice close-up look at all the stitches on this, and we'll chat a little. As I'm sure you can see, my July works in progress is still just the top. I haven't touched it at all this week. It seems when I finish big projects, like last month when I finished the t-shirt quilts, I kind of feel a little bit lost after that. It takes me a little bit to get my crafting mojo back. I spend so much time on those big projects that when it comes to time to start a new one, I kind of flounder a little and I'm not really sure what to start. So I just kind of puttered around a little this week. This was my nighttime, just in case you fall asleep before bed, you don't ruin anything project. This is the Stormy Sky shawl. There's a link down below in the description to my Ravelry page where I put all the information on what yarns I used in the pattern and where you can find it and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern. It has all these different little yarn overs and lacy details. Like I said, it has a lot of stretch, so you can really wrap this around your neck really well. You could wear it across your shoulders if you wanted to, but mostly, like I said, it's going to be one of those ones. It's a bandana shawl more than anything. You just wrap it around your neck. So I love the way the grays just kind of worked from almost basically a white into a lighter gray, medium gray. And then as I switched into the skeins with the next one, it turned in with the nice darker gray. So I really like that texture. These are all a bunch of drop stitch along here. Drop stitch doesn't bother me. You make a stitch and you purposefully drop it so that it leaves these giant holes. And most people are scared to drop them because, you know, you could drop a stitch and it could go all the way down. But if you follow the pattern properly, dropping a stitch several rows and stuff, it doesn't hurt anything. I kind of enjoy it. I think it's fun. So yep, this shawl is all done. I was playing with a new little design. I wanted some flat notions pouches to put inside my knitting bags. But most of the patterns you find, they have an exposed seam on the inside. I really don't like that. I like to have it all nice and neat to where you can't see any of the guts like this. I just don't think that looks very nice. So while I really love this shape, I used a basic pencil pouch pattern to get this design, but I didn't like those exposed seams. So then I tried again with this fun robot fabric. I cut the robots in half. As you can see, he's a little off kilter, but I kind of like that. It's like one of those toys where you can spin them around and change the design. And this one reminds me of Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. So I tried this, and I got it. So I was really surprised. I have one, this is mine, so I didn't mind the color thread. But this one's for me, and so I got all the seams were tucked away. No exposed seams anywhere. So I really like that. So then I just repeated it one more time to make sure I had the design right and I was doing it the proper way and it would work again. So I went ahead and I made another one. And see, I even used proper thread. I don't have a magenta thread. I might need to remedy that. So no exposed seams. Now this one is much too big. I still use it for a pouch for something. But I like these sizes better. I like this one to be maybe just a little bit wider, maybe a 1/2 inch on each side. So I need to try it one more time to get the right measurements. Monster! But these work really nice. When you put your knitting supplies in it, your notions, you put in your stitch markers, your tape measure, your scissors, it sits right like this. You can just open it up and leave it open and pull out what you need. And you're not constantly working on one of these pouches that are like this. And it fits into the knitting bags really nice. And I've always liked these flat pouches. So I worked on that. I'm going to work on that probably again this week to tweak the design a little bit more and get everything right. And I'll show you more next week probably. I did work on the rainbow socks for Robbie. This is the second one. I'm getting close to the heel. I need to do probably about 20 more rounds and then I'll be ready to start the heel on both socks. I haven't worked on this one that much because I've been having a little bit of problems with my hands. This is really small needles. These are a size 1 and this is the finger and weight yarn, so it's really thin, and I just haven't been able to manipulate my hands very well this week to work on it too much. So this one hasn't seen too much action. In place of that, I started a new project. I needed a take-along project because I had to go and take care of some business somewhere and I was concerned that I was going to be sitting a lot. So I started a hat. This is the bankhead hat. It has this nice little rib detail so it kind of can fit almost any size head. And once again, I am working with rainbow. This is a discontinued yarn. It's the Bernat Mosaic in the Calypso colorway. So I really like this. This is my last skein of this. I have one more in a different color rainbow, more of a summer color. And they make wonderful hats. I'm ready to start decreasing the top, so I only have a little bit more, and this you should see this as a finished project next week. I have another red, white, and blue dishcloth from this week. This finishes off most of that skein. You only get 2 dishcloths normally out of the one skein of the cotton yarn. And then I usually, because of the size I make, I usually have a little ball left over. So when I have a second skein, I can take what's left over from this one and what's left over from another one and make a 1/2 and 1/2 dishcloth normally. So I did have a dishcloth this week. Since I finished the shawl, I pulled out a new nighttime project. It's another shawl. Surprise! I really enjoy knitting on shawls. This one is with finger and weight still, but I'm doubling it, so it's actually a little bit, it's more like a worsted weight, so it's a thicker yarn that I'm working with. I'm working on, I believe they call it an applied border, because I've already knit the shawl, and now I'm just adding this border onto the bottom of it. It's this pretty little lace border. I knit the shawl this way, and the border you have to knit this way. So for every one of these stitches that's sitting on my needle, I have to do 2 rows this way. And as you can see, there's a lot of stitches. I believe I had over 500, so that's like over 1,000 of these rows. It's not a pattern that I can memorize, and so every row I have to look at the pattern to see what I'm doing. I believe this is a K.F. Jones from the Bakery Bears pattern, one of her shawls. I'll have to put the name of it up here on the screen for you to see, but once again, it is in my project pages on Ravelry, link down below in the description. And this is how much I've gotten done in the past week. Now that's pretty good. I think I did, this might be 30 rows, 25 rows. I don't think I've repeated the pattern twice yet, so it's close. It's almost 40 rows, so it's probably like 30, 35 rows. I've only been working on this one every other night because it gets frustrating having to look at the pattern every single time. It gets a bit frustrating and I don't see a lot of progress, which is why you have a progress keeper, because at least I know I have done this much this week, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. But I can't picture myself working on it every single night until I get through all these stitches. So I've been trying to bring something new into it at night. So I'm working on this every other night. And then alternating nights I've been working on the rainbow hat. So that's it for me this week. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. Looking forward to seeing everyone's videos. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.